This is the Honda Civic Type R. It's probably one of the most anticipated cars of recent years. It has a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder engine pushing 306 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60, 5.4 seconds. Welcome to the fastest front-wheel drive production car in the world.
We've always longed for some type of Type R here in the States, and for a while we didn't really have anything except for the Integra Type R, and even then that was short-lived. But now we have the Civic Type R for the first time on US soil, and boy is it a treat. The engine, truly a masterpiece. It's got torque down low, starts pulling right about 2,500 RPM, you get full torque. Now this is very different from traditional Type Rs or sportier Hondas that had that high revving engine. The steering, super direct response, very little dead spot on center. It's an incredibly fast rack. There's quite a lot of feedback from the steering wheel, which is really incredible considering, again, it's electric and it's also a front-wheel drive car. The interesting thing is, though, I think a lot of the feedback is actually just from the NVH that is in this car. There's a lot of vibration going on here. Speaking of vibration and harshness, the ride. It's stiff. There's no getting around that. You can put it in comfort mode, which is about as comfortable as the Civic Si in sport mode. It's bearable in comfort mode, but in sport and plus R, especially in plus R mode, it's stiff. When you get the Civic Type R onto a mountain road, it all starts to make sense. The whole car feels stiff, and yes, it feels buzzy and uncomfortable, but it feels very much like a race car for the streets. The brakes stop on a dime. The Brembo 4-pound calipers up front do a great job stopping this car confidently. The clutch also has a great heft to it as well. Has a very aggressive bite point in it, which is very typical of fast Hondas. The shifter feels amazing, especially again for a front-wheel drive car. You're using cables instead of mechanical linkages in all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive cars, and the feel for the shifter is awesome. The whole car just comes together brilliantly. It's a proper Type R. You feel very much at one with the road. This is what driving is all about. The ergonomics of the car are pretty good as well. The seats are incredibly bolstered, as you can probably see. Really hugs you in nicely, keeps you snug. The pedal placement is interesting. Now, traditionally in the standard Civic and in the Si, I complained that I couldn't heel and toe very well. I'm 99% sure these are the exact same pedals. It doesn't make sense that they'd be different, but I can heel and toe a lot better in this car for some reason. And no, that's not with me cheating and turning on the automatic rev matching. I turned that off from day one. The whole car just inspires confidence. It just urges you to drive it harder and harder. It feels so stable. There's no body roll whatsoever. The only downside is being in Washington. It's obviously a little damp and very cold today. And the summer tires on this vehicle are struggling a little bit to put the power down. Despite the less than ideal conditions though, the Civic Type R is a real feat of engineering. The front end grip on this car is absolutely incredible. Everyone complains that this car doesn't have all-wheel drive, and that's purely because they haven't driven it yet. It really puts its power down well. The whole car has a certain edginess to it. Someone would interpret that as twitchy, but I think that's very appropriate to this car. It feels, like a fast twitch athlete, kind of like a sprinter lining up at the start line and waiting for that gunshot to go off.
The Civic Type R faces stiff competition from the likes of the Ford Focus RS, the Subaru WRX STI, and the Volkswagen Golf R. The biggest criticism of the Civic Type R is that it's still front-wheel drive. Honda spent all the time and engineering overcoming the limits of a front-wheel drive platform. It's kind of like Porsche's stubbornness with the 911, insisting that a rear engine layout is better. Every one of its competitors come with all-wheel drive, and yet Motor Trend lapped it a second quicker than the RS and the STI at the Streets of Willow at Willow Springs. The Civic Type R just feels so special when you're behind the wheel, and it was definitely worth the wait.